Hi. What I wanted to say is that the entire it's all lost. It's all gone. So I'm doing this again. God damn it. So League of Legends currently has over 155 champions with well more on the way. Oh my god, that's a lot. So basically all these champions are kind of ingredients of one big meal, one salty, big, toxic meal that if you devour it, you will sell your soul to Riot Games. I love the game. I like it. I like the champions. I like the lore. I like how tilted I get from it, and I like how stupid it is sometimes. But most importantly, I like the characters. The game is nothing without the champions, and soup is nothing without ingredients. Welcome to Championsoup. Featuring our very first guest, Jax, Grandmaster at Arms, our very first champion that we're going to review, that we're going to take a look at, is my own one-trick main character that I love the most, called Jax, Grandmaster at Arms. He is my favorite character, by far. There is no character in the entire universe that I like more than him. Probably. So, you're probably wondering, Jax? Who's Jax? I don't know who Jax is. Okay, so let me explain you. Jax is a guy who's actually not named Jax. This beautiful, handsome man with 6 eyes and 3 fingers and a lamp. What a lamp's big. So Jax is a guy who grew up in Icathia, which is a satrapy of the Sherman Empire. The Sherman Empire, I've never heard of it. I haven't gotten into the lore that much, but I know that Jax is from it, so it must be a cool empire. He's the very last of his kind, and here's why. When he grew up with a very different name than Jax, his actual name was Jax Kilrinx Icathan. I fucked it up, 100% sure. His father raised him and taught him to love the place where he lives in, Icathia. And so Jax just knew nothing more than passion for his beautiful home. And he kept hearing stories about the Kohari from his father, and when his father passed away, he wanted to become a Kohari himself. The Kohari are kind of like Kung Fu Panda-ish characters who just swore to just protect their home. Kind of. So after years with being with the Kohari, Jax wandered across a void. A very dangerous, big, dark void with whatever monsters were in it. And when he discovered this void, he tried to warn his superiors, but his superiors wouldn't listen. They only saw potential in the void, like they could get something out of it. So Jax was worried all the way about this void, and he already knew it was going to be their doom. So during a battle with the Ascendant, where Jax even killed one from, the void was summoned by some mages from Icathia who thought that they could use the void in their advantage. In doing so, destroying their own home and everything around it. And everyone around it. While Jax was away, he couldn't do anything. When he came back to his home, when he came back to Icathia and everything around it, it was all gone. And Jax knew nothing but sadness, grief, and mostly embarrassment because he couldn't protect his beautiful home from this terrible void. So Jax was very embarrassed of himself, and he just wanted to have a fresh start. And now he's not named Jax anymore, his name is Jax now, which is a cool name. It's like Jax, but without the Psy. Thank you, Jax. Very cool. So what he's doing right now, he's probably wandering around. We don't know where in Runeterra he is. He's somewhere wandering with a lamp. Now why is he wandering around with a lamp? Because he wants to test people's strengths. He wants to find champions that can help him in the battle against the Void so he can rebuild his home again. And he can rebuild the Kohari. That's his only wish. That's all he wants. He just wants to find people who can help him, which is kind of cute, right? He will stand against the Void if it's either alone or with other champions. And we will know what will happen one day. Maybe his lore will continue. Maybe they will just give up on it. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Let's hope he will appear in Arcane. So he had one appearance in a cinematic. People thought he was killed by Nautilus. I'm telling you right now, there is no proof. There's no proof. There's no proof he was killed. There was only a piece of his cloth. There was nobody. 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 There was nobody. So, I don't think he got killed. I think he got away. But if you think otherwise, well, let's just say that your father wouldn't be proud of you. So let's start with Jax's passive, which defines him as a character as well. Basically, his passive is just, oh, you don't like me standing close to you. You don't like me. You don't like that. You don't like how I'm hitting you. How about I just hit you faster and harder? That's basically his passive. That's all there is to it. I'm not lying. Incredible. So his passive, you basically want to be building this up when you're fighting. When you're laning, for that matter. When you're laning, you want to hit a minion every while, and if you don't have any stacks, don't try and engage on people, because it is pretty crucial you get that maximum damage you can get. So this is pretty slow because, well, he's not that high of level, and we haven't built any items yet. This is basically his passive. This is it. I know. Amazing. So, his Q. His Q is very different. His Q makes him a very interesting character, and you can be pretty skillful with it. It's a point and click leap towards enemies, dwarves, mushrooms from Teemo, allies, minions, enemies. Did I say enemies? I said enemies. Basically, you can go anywhere. You can hop over walls, you can hop towards the enemy, hop away from the enemy, which is probably why it's as good as it is, because you can literally get out of any situation. Moving on to his second ability, his W, is Empowered, which is basically what it says. It empowers your next auto attack or leap. Amazing. Look at this. Wow. So whenever you're doing this, you're doing magic damage instead of physical damage, with a bit of the physical damage in it from your auto attack. So basically, people can build against you. Yes, you can also use this while you're leaping. Don't worry about it. Jax has got you. He's got you in his Grandmaster's arms. Moving on to his third ability, his best ability, which turns you into a helicopter, making you fly away from every game that you have to play against a team out. Amazing. So while you cast this E, you can't be hit by auto attacks, any auto attack, even if it's from monsters, dragons, barons, anything. As long as it's an auto attack, even empowers, you can be hit by them. By no one and by nothing. After casting this E, you can recast it and you can stun enemies, or you can let it run out, get the maximum hits in, and you can even use your W and Q while you're Eing, but it's a bit predictable. But you can also let it just run out, and then you also just stun everyone in your area. Which sounds great, but people will know when you're doing your E that you're up to something. When you do your E, make sure you're quick with responding. So that's why I personally like to E from very far away, so people don't really know you're coming, so that you could just E But you probably want to use this wisely. Waste your E, you waste everything about what you're doing. Easy. So let's move on to his most boring ability, but pretty good ability, his ult. So his active from his ult is just basically he becomes tanky, he becomes a bit more damage and a bit more resist from everything. That's it. It's basically like a nano boost from Overwatch.
You're powered up. Get in
You
there.
stand between me and my nap time. This won't end well for you.
It's well thought out. Definitely not one of the most boring ults in the game, but you know, it works. You want to use this when you're going in on any team or anyone, basically, because if the other person is going to do something back, that is, because sometimes people don't get the chance to do anything back against you. But basically, if you know that you're gonna take damage, and you don't want to take too much damage, or you just want to make it a bit quicker for the enemy, use your ult. That's it. That's the entire ult. You just use it when you're that ult. So the passive from his ult is a bit more interesting. What it does, it gives you another empower. So that's 2 empowers. I can count. Basically what it does, every third attack you do an empowered attack. Well, unless you're waiting too long, then it just goes away. Exactly. So what you want to do is you want to combo this with either your W or you want to cancel it a bit out. Well, the animation, you don't want to cancel this empowered, but look at this damage. This is just level 6 without items. It's insane. You want to be using this a lot because it also does AP damage and AD damage. So you can really surprise enemies with this. If you don't get your third attack on someone, it's not worth trading with them. If you really want to try out Jax, if you want the perfect build, most of the time you're going to want to start with something else than a mythic. Because people are going to be running away from you and people are going to try and kill you. Wow, surprise. So you want lifesteal and a way for people not to run away from you. Perfect. Left Room King. So with your mythic, it really depends on what you're playing against. If you're playing against a tank and you have no one on your team to deal with it, then you should probably go for the Fine Sunderer. But let's just say that's not the case and you just have normal ass game with normal ass fights. Go for Trinity Force. Trinity Force is probably the best mythic you can go for. There are other mythics that work. It works. It's just not preferable. Okay. Look at me. No, don't do it. It's okay, I guess. It's okay. You get a little more crit. Wow, that's amazing. The Trinity Force is probably the best thing you can do because it also stacks up with your passive. It has the same consequence as your passive. So basically you just upgrade your passive with it. Just like Conqueror. So that's why you're always running Conqueror at Domination or Inspiration, anything. Now you want to go for either Tanky Boots, Mercury's, or Bladed Steel Caps, or you want to go for Berserkers. And that depends on if you have a tank on your team or not. Do you have a tank on your team? Go Berserkers. Let's go. If you don't have a tank on your team, go whatever the team is building. After you got those abilities, you could play around for a bit. Look at the enemy a bit. The little items that are recommended most of the time work well. I personally prefer Titanic Hydra over Ravenous Hydra with Jax. Depends on your playstyle, of course. Wit's End is amazing, but I only use it when I play against AP characters that are really fucking up my game. Black Cleaver is alright, I guess. And then Stark's Gauge, Death's Dance, and Guardian Angel are probably my favorites. This is probably my favorite build right here. This is my favorite build. So, to conclude this video, Jax is a great character. Like, if you're looking for someone to dominate newbies with, Jax is your guy. If you're looking for someone to play aggressive with, Jax is your guy. If you're looking for someone who can jump away, Jax is your guy, reporting for duty. But if you're looking for anything doing too much damage, then Jax is not your guy. Seriously, I recommend playing this character. I would give him a 9 out of 10, because he's a great character. He feels right, even though his kit seems pretty simple. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm a cringy YouTuber. I am desperate for views. Please share with your family. Do it now. And also, thank you for watching Championsoup. If you have any suggestions for characters, or just if it's any game, I don't care. But mostly League of Legends characters for now, then please please let me know what characters you would like to see. And remember, as Jax once said,
Surprise! I never left.